This is going to be your weekly chakra energy check-in. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies you may be experiencing throughout your chakras or energy centers in the body. So in the comments, please let me know your word of the day, your word of the week, your current vibe. How are your emotions doing? That's a question I feel like I need to ask because we are approaching the full moon in Pisces, which just happens to be a lunar eclipse. And yeah, I mean, everything has been up and down the last few days, you know. I almost feel like the weather's playing with us. It was cold, it's hot, it's cool, it's hot. There's storms in different locations. I hope everybody's doing well and safe. It's an interesting time, right? You know, this full moon in Pisces with this partial lunar eclipse has been already affecting us. Many people have told me that they can't sleep. Either they fall asleep and wake up multiple times throughout the night, or they just don't feel rested. So I'm curious to know how many of you are feeling the same way. The emotions are running high. I do think that there's an anticipation of things coming to light, and that's what eclipse energy does. It's expect the unexpected. So a lot of people might be wanting to lay low, hermit themselves, gather information, as I've been saying the last little while, and see where it takes us. Now, we are doing a full moon Zoom on Monday, September 16th at 6 p.m. Eastern. If you'd like to join us, the cost is $22. It is 2 hours, a general collective reading live on Zoom with me and my online family. And then I send you a personalized moon reading by the next new moon. So link is in my bio, or you can visit my website. But it's going to be an interesting night to lead us into the full moon partial lunar eclipse. So let's get some overall themes and messages. We have here boundary stones, negotiations, contracts, and communication. You know, something to mention about communication is that Mercury is finally out of that shadow period, you know, of Mercury retrograde, which is wonderful. The other thing I want to mention is boundaries. I mean, boundaries are always important, right? I don't think there's a day that I don't talk about boundaries or, you know, discuss them in my sessions. But I would say to you that right now in particular, boundaries are really key, especially with this eclipse energy and full moon energy. I would describe right now, and I said it on live the other day, but I'll say it more diplomatically here on YouTube, and that is, you know, I'm just not going to do this anymore. I'm not doing this stuff anymore. You know, the stuff that makes you tired, the lines that get crossed, the favors with no appreciation. You know, if you've been feeling like you're just tired of overgiving and feeling lost or left in the shuffle, you know, this is like, I'm not doing this anymore. Anything that doesn't serve us, there's this vibe that is like, don't want to do it. And totally understandable. We can't allow bad behavior, right? So let's take a look at what else we need to know here. And we have angels are watching over you, supported, protected, loved, encouraged. You know, it's interesting. If you've been seeing 44 or 444 or fours in general, that's a sign that you're divinely guided. I mean, I'm turning 44 tomorrow, actually. September 12th is my birthday. And so, you know, I've said that this is sort of my divinely guided birthday. You know, this is my year of ultimate protection. So you're supported, protected, loved, and encouraged. So know that you have a support team around you. You are loved, okay? And let's see what moonology card we need to know here, because we do have the full moon approaching. And we have, there you go. You cannot make that up. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. Full moon in Pisces. Oh, Spirit heard me. Okay, so full moon in Pisces, balance, spirituality, and practicality means use discernment. I want to remind you about something, and that is we marry potential, we divorce reality. So Pisces, as a general rule, is very dreamy, and they love to see the best in people, but that doesn't necessarily mean that those things are truly what they seem to be. So therefore, we have to use discernment. We have to use a bit of logic. We have to say, what is the current situation, not the potential of the situation. So love that that card came out, because I couldn't be any more on point. So let's take a look at what's going on in the chakras. I'm going to be using the Chakra Wisdom tarot cards here, which have all the chakras or energy centers in the body. Let's take a look at Mars, which is our root chakra, foundation, how we drive ourselves forward. And here, how we drive ourselves forward. Wow, the cards are just like listening instantly to me today. The Emperor, power moves. We're here to make power moves. We're here to play chestnut checkers. This is not about going left, about going right, about going backwards. It's onward and upwards. Okay, let's see what we need to know about this card. The World, you have to let something end. Completion of a cycle. You have a duty, you have a responsibility to keep growing and changing. And, you know, something else that I've been noticing amongst people the last little bit is that there's still a little bit of lingering something from the past, you know, that we're holding on to and tightly, you know, because we just don't want to let go. And it's this feeling of nostalgia. I don't know how many of you are feeling nostalgia these days, but there's this nostalgia about what happens if I let go. Will I be forgotten? Will everything be forgotten? Was it all for nothing? What did it mean? You know, and I just want to remind all of you that, you know, we are lifelong learners. We are going to grow. We are going to change. The story has to shift. The new chapters have to begin. We've got to make room. And there's the Cabin. You know, some of you might be feeling lonely, isolated, but there's also an energy that says you need to go within. You know, you've got to ask yourself, what is it that you truly want? Do you want to feel disconnected? Do you want to feel numb? And maybe I should clarify something. I said this in live on TikTok and Instagram the other day. There's a difference between taking some time to breathe out and rest. Like, for example, going to a cabin for a weekend and rejuvenating yourself and maybe having a little bit of alone time. Nothing wrong with that, by all means. But if you're isolating yourself indefinitely and putting walls up around you, that's the type of isolation that's not going to bring you any kind of change, right? Nothing changes if nothing changes. So you've got to remember that you can take some time, but it can't be forever, right? We've got to move forward. We have to do things differently if we want changes in our life. So let's take a look at Venus. This is the sacral chakra, self-worth, self-value, and self-respect. And we have the King of Cups. King of Cups is all about, you know, being in tune with your emotions. You know, I would just say be careful right now that you don't let your buttons get pushed, or, you know, somebody tries to poke the bear and you completely react and lose your cool. This is not the time for that. You know, everybody's being tested is how I would describe it. You know, everybody wants to see where you're at, or they want to gauge where everyone's at, you know, maybe by testing. So let's see, what else do we need to know here? The Emperor, again, the universe is like, I said what I said. There's the Emperor making power moves. So again, don't make your decisions based on your emotions. Have some logic. Again, balance spirituality and practicality. And here is the biker energy, being a lone wolf. Break the rules a little bit. Nonconformist. Listen, the Emperor doesn't play around. You think the Emperor cares what anybody else thinks? Absolutely not. You know, the Emperor makes the rules. The Emperor is the King of Kings. This also says moving on. And by the way, both of these cards have been Libra cards. And I have strongly felt that Libra season was going to be important. Okay? We're leading up to that time very soon. Oh, I got kitties in the background who may engage in some play. Let's hope it stays neutral. Let's take a look at the solar plexus, which is personal power. Okay, let's see. The Eight of Coins. We have work to do. And this is the whole thing. You know, we're intimidated sometimes about the task. We worry about how long it's going to take. What is it going to mean? I guess essentially we're worried about the who, what, when, where, why, and how. And all of that doesn't really matter. It just means do what you got to do and see where it takes you. You know, also work smart. As in, you don't have to overdo anything, overgive to anything, plan everything to a T. It just means set some intentions, network in the right way, talk to the right people, you know, push yourself in ways that bring a little bit of risk so you can get that reward, right? And with that, we have here the diamond ring. And I've seen this card actually quite a bit lately which is about setting intentions. There could even be a proposal of some kind. This could even be a promise. But I did say a moment ago, like, what are your intentions? Set some intentions more than anything. You know, plans can change. Intentions, they're there to lead you in a particular direction and see what happens. And with that, we have the hammock. So the hammock is all about resting and rejuvenating yourself, relaxing a little bit, having some time off when you need to, again, to pause when you need to. But essentially, you know, you got to keep on going. So it's all about give and take, right? It's about balance. Let's take a look at... I'm having all these interruptions as I'm filming this. The camera's shaking. The cat is... Again, more interruptions on my phone. I'm telling you, it's almost like there's all these messages trying to come through, and it's telling me something. And I don't know if you feel this way. Maybe it's a sign for all of you watching that there's these interruptions. See, my cat just knocked over some cards. There's some interruptions. There's people trying to bombard. I think the word I used the other day in one of my readings was that people felt bombarded by signs and synchronicities. So maybe this is a message for all of you feeling that way. You know, letting us know that it's okay to take a break when we need to. But again, got to get up and go. Don't let these things phase you, right? Keep on going. Just like I keep on doing the reading when the cats run around or they're play fighting or the messages are coming through, the notifications, whatever. Let's see. Let's take a look at the heart chakra. What's going on in matters of the heart? The Eight of Cups, walking away from things that no longer serve you. You know, this is an energy. Oh, here we have a kitty cat who wants to join us. See, this is my point. Everybody wants in on the action today. Okay, so 88 could be an angel number that you're seeing. Let's see what else we need to know. The geese. Here's the thing. I know the card says relocation, and maybe you're thinking about moving, which is fine and possible, but I'm hearing the word, you know, redirection. If you've heard me say this, I mean, granted, I've said it many, see, now I got a cat knocking things off my bench here. The idea of a Roomba vacuum. So a Roomba vacuum spins around the room, it hits the wall, and it redirects itself. I think you're trying to figure out where you're going. And even if you feel like you hit a wall or something just doesn't seem right or it wasn't what you imagined, that's okay. But you're trying to figure out the direction in which you're going, and you're not going to know until you try or until you make those moves. I think everybody's just in fear of being wrong or being forgotten or making, you know, the biggest mistake ever. But it's not about that. It's about the learning experience. You know, things happen for a reason. And there's the map. See, exploration. How will you know? How will you find your way if you don't go on that journey? This is unknown destination. You can't always know, right? Okay, so let's see. This is now the throat chakra. What needs to be communicated? Seven of Wands. Are you on the offensive or are you on the defensive? And I've seen this quite a bit, actually, where a lot of people recently have been feeling like their back is against a wall. And that's not the kind of energy you want to be in, because that's a bit of survival mode. You want to be in an energy that says, okay, I'm going to push myself forward. You know, I'm going to stand up. I'm not doing this anymore. Do you know what I mean? That's I think, like the word of like the week. I'm not doing this anymore. You know, and that's the polite way of saying it. There's the Tower. See, I think this is what I anticipate. You tell me if this resonates. I anticipate some people having a bit of a Tower moment and just saying exactly how it is. Whatever's been like pent up inside is suddenly just going to burst. I'm not doing this anymore. Whether that's in family dynamics, friendships, romantic relationships, at work, not doing this. So very curious to know your thoughts on this or your feelings. It's interesting. The next new moon, is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, the solar eclipse, because that's basically within a couple of weeks of the full moon, and that's October 2nd, and that's going to be in Libra. It does say within the next 1 to 3 months, Maybe you're going to be finding your voice, or you're just going to say exactly how it is. And you're going to be like, again, I'm not doing this anymore. And things will shift. So let's see. Let's take a look at third eye intuition. 10 of Cups, happiness. Intuitively, there's this feeling of happiness, of this abundance and this joy, and it can be achieved. It all depends on your perception, your perspective. Are you willing to put yourself out there to get it, to attract it? And there's the beaver. I mean, look, things work for you, but also against you, okay? But you've got to persevere. And this does say making dreams real, and your dreams are the 10 of Cups, ultimate wish fulfillment. It's just that there's worry about whether you can have it or not. And that's the problem. You might be feeling, irritated. You might be feeling anxious, upset, uneasy, nervous. And I think, in all honesty, we need a little bit of nervousness to push us forward. Otherwise, we wouldn't really do it. Do you know what I mean? Or it wouldn't really feel right. I know that sounds kind of silly, but you need a little bit of that in order to find the satisfaction of having completed it. Like, think of when somebody does, a task, like on a show like The Amazing Race, and they've got to, rappel a building, or they got to jump off a bridge, or they got to whatever, bungee jump. And it's like, they got that nervousness, but then when they do it, they feel like $1 million after. I don't know if I could do that personally, but I can understand how the nervousness can contribute to the feeling of satisfaction. You've got to put yourself out there even when you're nervous, because otherwise it's just fear. Let's take a look at the crown chakra. What does the crown chakra, the downloads, say right now? Healing, 4 of Swords, rest and rejuvenation. So there's definitely an overall message here of, make your moves, take your rest. Make your moves, take your rest. Be consistent, And with that, we have the stalemate. So if you're feeling like you're stuck, we talked about this earlier, the Emperor plays chess, not checkers. If you're feeling like there's no way out, there are ways. Small steps, day by day. Take your rest, rejuvenate, regroup yourself, but then put yourself back out there again. Don't stop totally. And with that, the labyrinth. And there's 2 ways you can look at this. Lost, delayed, complicated, a mess. But it also can be sorting something out. You may have a situation to sort out. But again, being stuck doesn't help you. So there's a lot of mixed energies in this reading today, just to sort of give you a bit of a recap. If I look at these, from the bottom to the top here, making power moves, being in tune with your emotions, keep working, walk away from the things that no longer serve you. Don't be in the defensive energy. Stand up for what you want, because what you want is that 10 of Cups, and you ultimately want that peace. The problem is, and this is really the central message, but then when you look at the clarifications here, right? You've got to be able to let things go. You've got to be able to make the move. You got to have the intentions. You got to figure out where you're going. Yeah, you're going to have some tower moments along the way. Sure, things are going to work for you, but also against you. And if you don't address these things, they become a stalemate again. And that's why I always talk about tower moments. They either shake us up to make absolute change, or we want to ignore them, sweep them under the rug, and never look at them again until they, come and smack us. And again, looking at this side here, we can see that if you're feeling lonely and isolated, well, you've got to break the rules. You've got to do something different. Okay, you've got to rest when you need to rest, right? You've got to explore it all at the same time. You got to be open to new beginnings. You got to say, what do I want in the next, 1 to 3 months? What are my intentions? Maybe what are some goals? Yeah, I'm going to worry a little bit. And yeah, it's going to get complicated at times, but I'm going to sort it out. But notice how the entire theme of this is, I got to make boundaries. I'm divinely guided and protected. And I've got to find myself that balance of spirituality and practicality. I can't live in rainbows and butterflies. There has to be some logic here. At the same time, yes, I can hope for my happiness and have faith in my dreams. Everything is about balance, right? So that being said, Let me see what cards I want to use. I want to use the Divine Compass cards. Let's get some last messages here. And before we do that, as always, I want to thank you for your support. I appreciate the likes, the comments, the subscribes. Please help me with the algorithm. It helps people find my videos and put on their homepage. Let's take a look at these last cards. The Compass. Where are we going? Gentle release. Let yourself surrender to the flow of life's mysterious currents. Just go with it. Exactly. See where it takes you. Nothing has to be overwhelming. And we have here, worthy goal. Get out and be inspired to keep working toward your life's purpose. Absolutely. Okay, and let's do one more for good measure here. Saving grace. Forgiving yourself and others heals the wounds and sets you free. Release the burdens. You know, I think a lot of the times people think that if they forgive something that it excuses it or, you know, makes it okay. And that's not the case. Forgiveness is not about another person. It's about you. It's about releasing yourself. So I really hope this resonates with you. I send you so much love and light. Looking forward to doing the weekly reading leading up to the full moon, lunar eclipse in Pisces. Thank you again, and I wish you a wonderful day.